Hello Twilights, Metal Likes Waffles here. Hope you can hear me okay, see me okay, hear the game okay, and you see it okay. Welcome back to more Bloodborne. And unfortunately for me, I just sneezed 2 times. Oh. And anyway, unfortunately for me, we're on the Chalice dungeons now, which I am not at all happy about because I hate the Chalices. And my model is once again turning to the mother effing side. Why do you do that? Come on, model, work with me here. I'm not angling my body. And I'm facing the camera properly. So truly, I don't understand why it does that. Alright, now before we get into this, I'm sure someone's possibly going to notice the donation goal is gone, and that's because I did an F-up again. A really bad F-up too, I might add. Problem has since been fixed with the really bad F-up, but I also had to redo my PayPal yet again. So I've taken the donations off, and I also took the donation goal off because there's no point of it showing if I'm not accepting donations at this time. Once I am fairly positive everything has gone through correctly, I will re-add the donation. And on another note, there's no listings on my Etsy, so you might as well just not wonder about it, okay? I also removed the links for now. Once I'm certain everything's fine, my Etsy link will come back, and my donation thing will come back. But until it's fixed, no links. Now, I was a little busy off screen for like, what, 2 days? Maybe 2. Yeah, I got my stats all to 70. Which isn't actually recommended. Heck, I don't think a jack of all trades build is like recommended at all, but I hate being limited. I don't like making multiple hunters to do certain builds. That idea infuriates me beyond all effing belief. So that's why I did it like this. Although I wouldn't have had to get my HP and endurance so dang high. And heck, arguably none of this has to be at 70. And in fact, when this gets edited and goes on YouTube, I'm going to be leaving some links in the video description towards someone on YouTube I found literally today that goes over how making builds work and everything, because I barely understand the basics of it. Actually, let's just put it this way. Don't ask Midna for advice on how to make a build, okay? Don't. I barely can understand the basics of it. I know a fast skill-based weapon is of course going to scale with my skill, but there's a lot to it actually. And I will tell you right now that I probably shouldn't have gotten all my stats to 70. Highly unnecessary and effing model. Hang on while I fix her yet again. But I'm not angling a particular direction, and yet she insists on doing this. I do not know why that happens. Very strange. Anyway, I did that in like 2 days or so. We were at 65 on our stats before, so it wasn't hard to get the remaining ones. Although, if I were to try to level up any further, I would probably need close to 1 mil echoes to get anything up to another 10. And the only thing I could think of that I would upgrade further at this point is my arcane, and that's put it at 99. because it's actually a good call if you're doing arcane builds to get it to 99. And I've decked myself out with extra bullets so I can use my arcane tools, which I already have set up. I know normally I'd have the beast roar right here, but I don't expect to deal with a lot of enemy hunters right away. I'm probably wrong, but I don't remember a lot of enemy hunters in the first couple of chalices. But then again, I know the chalices very poorly, because I hate them. Oh, can you believe I never used this? I guess we're just gonna hang on to it for now. Now, I actually did do a little bit of blood gem grinding. Something I said I don't like to do, I actually did. And that's kill the winter lanterns for the blood gems they give you. And after watching this new person I found on YouTube, well, they aren't new, but they're new to me, I'll put it that way. Now, usually I will not put an attack down gem on my weapons. As you can see on this one, I have an attack down on that. And it doesn't particularly matter, I think, if what I recall what he said correctly. It's the rest of your gems that are going to matter. And as you can see from the overall attack, it says at plus 230. And that's on the effing Chicago, which I'm not going to use much of. I think you can guess that I saved that for last when it came to my gems. This actually didn't get a significant increase. And I think that's because I just need to find some better gems in the chalices, which is going to be a bit of a nightmare. Because I can't do cloud saves and do a little trick with boss fights, so that's going to suck. I also don't have... Well, the save trick and doing chalice glyphs I can't do either because that requires me to have online, and the cheapest one is $10, and I only have 20 right now, so yeah, not going to be doing that. I'm just going to have to hope I can get lucky with the RNG gods and they decide to smile upon Cawson and give her good gems. But those are also later chalices, so this is what I'm rocking at the moment. Which actually isn't that bad, look at that. I'm not really worried about the stamina cost, it's not that terrible. And if I were to equip the Hunter of Hunter rune, then I really don't have to worry about it. But, like I said, the first couple chalices aren't going to be a problem. And why does my model keep trying to squint? That's weird. What? I guess the model's just going to be a pain in the butt today. Fine. Alright, now you can see there's an attack versus kin down. I'm not worried about that either, because we shouldn't be dealing with many kin at first. At least I don't think so. And even then, my overall damage should just cover that, so it's probably okay. And of course I got the Holy Blade, which went from, what, 300, 500 to 614? Yeah, need I say more? Whirligig Saw. F. Now, these gems pretty much all came from Winter Lanterns, which means these gems, the droplets, I can put those on any slot. It does not matter, so I'm a fan of that. Although this dude I found on YouTube did specifically state where I can find very specific shape gems, so that's nice. It doesn't mean I'm stuck with base chalices, but like I said, that's a given because I don't have online anymore. Now, I was surprised I got that to go so high on the physical attack. Just look at that crap. I don't even plan on using this that much with Cawson. It's more of a, oh crap, I need distance weapon right now. There's only only a few enemies I can think of that I'd really go to town with on this. Possibly bosses. But I like the bow blade as it is, so I probably would keep it regardless. But wow, I can't believe how high that went. And Burial Blade, which I have not fully upgraded, unfortunately. That's just because I was lacking in Bloodstone chunks. But I definitely take back what I said about the Winter Lanterns. They are worth farming, just, you know, make sure that you have some frenzy resistance. Suddenly I forget what it's called. Sedative. I wanted to call it an antidote. It's not an antidote. The sedative. Have a couple of those on you. And by the time you beat the game, you should be able to just buy the suckers from the messenger bath here. See? Right there. You can just buy them. So either go after them in the Nightmare of Mensis area, or go after them in the Hunter's Nightmare at the Fishing Hamlet. I found it a little easier to go after them in the Fishing Hamlet, despite there only being 2, but it was slightly easier and less time consuming. So I just did that in the end. I didn't do it for very long. I literally was doing it just now before I started streaming while I was eating some food. And miraculously I got some pretty okay RNG. Now there was a couple I didn't like and so just didn't keep. They were either too weak or they had stats I definitely didn't like. I think it was more toward the former than the latter. Probably wouldn't be a bad call to sell that. It's not that strong, but I'll keep it for now. Yeah, I'm pretty much just keeping these for now. But that came from a Winter Lantern, and so did that. Basically, most things on my weapons came from Winter Lantern. Others came from either different enemies, or I picked them up off the ground. And of course, we know what these are. These are special. And the blood drop is on that thing. And speaking of that thing, I have 99 insight. If I'm going to go in the Chalices, I think I should spend a few. Because I'm going to get more. Oh, I can get at least 4 of them. Wow, I'm gonna. Okay. I can farm these in Chalices too, because you get them from boss fights. I'll need to look up exactly which ones do that, but that's okay. Alright, there. Oh yeah, that happens when you buy a bunch of stuff with insight. I don't know what... Is that symbol of beast right there? I can't tell what that is. Wow. That's still not enough. Oh, crumbs. Yeah, I need 8. Wait, no. That's the Bloodstone Shard? Well, even if I do get those real quick, I still won't have enough Bloodstone chunks. Huh. Why did I do the... I must have thought I couldn't get them easily. I don't know why I thought that, considering I have seen them countless times over here for sale. I'm stupid. And yes, I know, I have a ridiculously small amount of blood echoes compared to what I usually have. That's because I used up the vast majority leveling up, and then I just didn't bother to get more. Okay, I'll only be able to level this up one time. I'll leave it for now and just see what else I can do here. I don't really have much else, honestly, though. And nothing's really showing that it's amazing. Nothing's better than that, and that's all I have for this. Yeah, I'm gonna need some gems for the burial blade. Funny considering how much I like that I ended up looking at that thing's gems last. By the way, I actually fought with myself a little bit off screen about my weapon choice because I like really fast weapons. When really looking into it, it seems that Blade of Mercy is quicker. My only beef with the Blade of Mercy that it's more arcane based, so I couldn't put any fire or bolt paper on it, and I'd have to get some very more specific gems for the sucker, which apparently are infuriating to farm, so ultimately I'm sticking with the Rikuyo. Alright, so I'm pretty much as decked out as I'm gonna be. This is as good as it's gonna get. Obviously we're going to ignore that one as that's my cheaty Chalice dungeon. And I did look it up, there is a better one that'll get me like 200k. And that is nice, but I would need to have online again to even access it, so it ain't gonna happen. It is better than that one though, because that one doesn't give you 200k. Okay, Chalice Ritual, and I actually have a list of all the story chalices, which are technically all the ones I have to do for storyline. Now, does that count for 100%? Probably not. I will in fact probably have to look up where it is that I find particular weapons, armors, and runes. And I can't use glyphs. I'll have to do it the old-fashioned way. I am sad. Oh yeah, and I will say this, the Ailing Lower Loran Root Chalice is just for getting good gems. And you don't have to finish it, just create it and you can do a glyph search. It's good for getting you the runes and good farming spots. I legit made a note. And root chalices, period, are where all the best loot is, so if you need stuff, there you go. And probably there I go too, because I'm likely gonna need it. But anyway, I have exactly the list of the things I need to do, so... But there are some things I want to get just because. Well, there's a particular thing I want to get just because, and if I don't find it anywhere, I'll have to look up what chalice it's in and go grab it that way. But for now, we do the very first chalice we ever got. The Pthumeru Chalice. And you should not have an ounce of a problem doing this, because the game gives this to you for free in Old Yarnum. The only way you couldn't do it is if you didn't pick up the ritual blood. As far as I'm aware, items always stay, so you can always go back for it if you didn't grab it. Alright, so the nightmare begins. Ooh, speaking of that, I found this insane dude on YouTube a while ago. Does challenges for various different games, but he did one in particular of can you beat Bloodborne with the beast claws? Obviously you can. But he did something super effing creative at the end of it that I'm definitely linking that in the description. I thought it was so creative. Alright, anyway, off we go. There I go, humming the Fatal Frame 4 song again. It's catchy. I'm hoping that I can avoid loading screens as much as possible, when at all possible, because I gotta tell you, those get really annoying to edit out. And I remember a very long time ago in a Bloodborne playthrough when I uploaded it to YouTube, I don't remember if it was one I kept or if it was the old one, but someone actually commented that they appreciated the fact I edited out the loading screens. So I edit out every single dang one so long as I'm able to catch where it is. If I ever miss one, then oopsie. That probably happened when I was constantly editing the same videos over and over. And I'm gonna have a fun time with the enemy cards on this one because I do not know the Chalice dungeons that well. So I'm gonna have to actually fight things before I know if they're weak, dangerous, or deadly. And if you're playing it the way I am, where you come here only after you've beaten the base game and the DLC, like I said, the first couple Chalice dungeons aren't going to be a problem. Okay, you're definitely Chalice dungeon enemy that we have not seen because we haven't been here before. Like, one hit should usually kill these guys. Because again, I waited a long time before coming here. Now if you want Chalice dungeon lore, I'm gonna tell you right here and now, I'm gonna just tell you to look that one up, okay? Okay. You fell down, you nitwit! I was gonna go up there and kill you. Yeah, my knowledge of the Chalice dungeon lore is kinda crappy. I know a bit about the Pthumeru Chalices, or at least what happened to Queen Gehrman. And I have very vague knowledge about the land of Loran. Heck, I mentioned it when we saw Queen Gehrman in the Nightmare of Mensis at the Wet Nurse's boss room. Outside of it, anyway. Do I even need to use my heavy weapon on you? Ow! Might be a good idea. That actually did some damage. I'm impressed. Now, I don't know what these things are. They look like they're creating smoke. It could be incense. I'm gonna lean toward its incense. Although I doubt that the Pthumerians really had to worry about the Beast Plague, because that only really happened to Gehrman, and there's a floating dagger right there. Like, from my understanding, the Beast Plague didn't happen until Gehrman gave the blood that she was contracted with to ailing Loran. And they were the ones who got cursed with the Beast Plague. After which the Pthumerian elders locked Gehrman away as punishment and hoping that only Loran would suffer and the Pthumerians would be spared. So I don't think the Pthumerians actually had anything about the beasts going on. If they did, I am not at all aware of it. Why do I feel like there was supposed to be a Wandering Madness? Did I miss one? I suppose it doesn't matter that much. It's just a Bloodstone shard, and we can farm those easily in Old Gehrman or just buy the suckers. And as you can see, the Pthumerians are actually a lot taller than regular people are. That's because they're not quite human. They're similar, but what just died? They're more of a superhuman, is how I've heard it described for the most part. They were human, but slightly beyond. And it's ultimately why they could handle birthing Great Ones. Whereas when it happens to humans, the actual humans, it doesn't usually end well for the child or the mother. I mean, from what I've seen it explained a few times, okay, is that Great One's psychology is physiology? What's the word I'm looking for? Am I using the wrong words? I'm using the wrong effing words. Give me a second. Let's go with a word that's not big, and I know it doesn't have a definition that will confuse me or anyone else who's watching and go, Midna, what the F? That doesn't sound right. Yeah. Great ones and humans have different body types. There! That works! Shouldn't use an effing big complicated word if I'm not sure which one's the correct one. But yes, that's what the main problem is there. Great One bodies and human bodies are too different, and that's why it doesn't work. That's like doing interspecies... I don't know the term for that, actually. I'm sure someone gets what I'm trying to say. Interspecies relations? Is that what I'm going for there? I think. We can be a little erratic. Ah, I walked into that like an imbecile. Yeah, he did. I hit all of his little blistering tumor things all at once, and I didn't even mean to. I was actually going to point it out, and then I did it. Way too hard and way too much. So, if you don't want to just breeze through the chalices the way I am right now, don't wait until later to do them. Oh, you can see the hunter mark on the wall there, which begs the question, did they actually have hunters down here, and why? Because shouldn't they not have needed them? Either way, humans and Great Ones are too different, but the Pthumerians and Great Ones, they had their differences body-wise, but it wasn't so far that it caused the problems it does in today's Gehrman. It's awfully dark in here. Now, I will tell you this much, you totally can just run through areas. You don't have to kill everything. If all you want to do is get through the chalice, then just don't worry about killing everything. Go for... Oh, aren't you hidden in the dock? Yeah, if you just want to complete the chalice, just go after the lever to open the door and go kill the boss. However, if you're interested in getting materials, you're gonna want to kill things, and you will have to kill a couple of enemies, by the way. Because you're going to need chalice materials to access other chalices later. Like ritual bloods. That's just one thing. There's several chalice items you will need. And if you want to get really good rewards out of stuff, you're going to need to do the chalices that most people tend to struggle with, which is the cursed, rotted, fetid ones, where it basically destroys your HP bar. No, I'm not kidding. I would admit a kid to you about this. I think over here's a dead end, which is fine, because there's just an item down here. Unfortunately, I've largely lost my train of thought. I think I made my point, though, about the fact that humans and Great Ones just don't mix well, and they only just mixed well with the Pthumerians. But that all went down the drain when Queen Gehrman felt bad for the people of Loran who were sick. And so she broke her blood contract and gave them Great One blood, which she shouldn't have done. Oh, here we go. Ritual blood 2, that's what I was talking about. Your enemies will drop this stuff, and of course you will pick it up. And that's just one of many chalice ritual materials that you're going to need. And I should have brought along some more shining coins, just in case I get lost. Because I assure you that's liable to happen. I am not good at chalice dungeons in the least. Oh, you clipped me. Where are you? Just casually walks forward, isn't at all concerned. I mean, I'll be concerned if, like, 3 of them get on me. Ow! Or just 2. Jeez, son. Get away from the back. Where art thou, honor? F you, man. Now, there shouldn't be any imaginary walls. At least that I'm aware of, there shouldn't be. If you look up when you enter a chalice, like just the main room when you enter, there should be a ledge with a chest sitting on top of it. That's when you want to be hitting walls, because that'll lead you to that chest. Ow. And I'm also not aware of anything like a mimic. If they are in Bloodborne, I have never heard of it. Ah yes, the roly-poly guy. Unfortunately, I'm way too strong for you, sorry. Top off. Yeah, I could totally just run through and not worry about the enemies for the most part, but I need materials for other chalices, so I am killing things. It's not gonna hurt me that bad, so I figured just top down here and get right back to the door. And there it is! Now eventually we're gonna come across probably the biggest reason I hate the Chalice dungeons. So far we haven't seen it yet. And I know I'm weird because pretty much the entire Bloodborne community loves the Chalices. They think they're so fun. But I effing hate them. I have never liked the Chalices at all. Okay, that takes care of one merciless watcher. You have a gun. Ow. Also got a friend. Here, have a drink. What? It's called the Accursed Brew. Okay, we got the Root Chalice. And that right there, Tempering Blood Gemstone, is what I was talking about earlier. How you go in to kill a boss and hope you get good RNG. Or you have online and you can just do a save before the boss fight and then reload your cloud save. But since Minda hasn't got that, it means she would have to just keep doing the Chalice dungeon over and over from the very beginning. The hunter mark is right there. Did they have hunters? And if they did, why? They didn't have to worry about the beast scourge, did they? Again, my knowledge of the Chalice lore is not good. I'd have to look into it again, and to those of you who want to know it really badly, I have already brought it up several times during my main playthrough. I have a lore playlist, that's stuff I managed to do on my YouTube channel. It'll be linked in the description. Can't miss it. Are you gonna... No? Anyway, lore playlist will be linked in the description. Stuff that I found and managed to make notes on and talk about, along with someone else. But there's also a lot of people I never added their lore because I found it later. They will also be linked. Oh, what the heck is he doing? There's also Reddit, which is very good for lore. So yeah, there's plenty of places to look for it. And anyway, the messengers will light this little lamp when you've gone through a particular doorway. Like when we went through here, that messenger lit that one. And who's this? Prospector Oleg. Now someone talked about the translation to the Tomb Prospector garb, where it actually means tomb break opener. So basically, oh, that was a Wandering Madness there. Basically, Healing Church Tomb Prospectors were grave robbers. Although, we sort of already knew that, didn't we? Oh, crap. Okay, I wanted to kill the flower thing for obvious reason, because it's gonna shoot arcane at me. But I think my main problem is still the effing chime whore. And you didn't disappear. Why? Most of her summons will just go away after you kill her. Okay, I should get some more shining coins so I can just pop those on the ground in case I get lost. Chalice dungeons are probably the one place I would easily say I can get lost in. And that's one thing of many things that I hate about the Chalices. They look the effing same. There's hardly any differences in some of their appearances. It's dull, incredibly boring, and it's just like, you could have done so much with this, and yet you appear to not have. Why? Boredom eventually sets in, and I get sick of it. Now that's just one reason that I'm not a fan of the effing Chalice dungeons. I have several. And that's just one. Sounds like Papa just came home. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, I think I went around the whole loop because I pulled the lever to get this. And there's the first flower thing that I killed. Fluorescent flower. Took me a sec to remember its name. Actually, isn't there supposed to be stuff down here? Oh, huh. You're not gonna have a good gem for me. By the way, that's all these guys are gonna give you down here, as far as I'm aware. Shoot! I was wondering if there was something else here. It was too easy. Okay, as I was saying, as far as I'm aware, the Wandering Madness will just give you gemstones. And of course, the early ones aren't going to be amazing. Just get used to that if you've done the same thing as me. Your first couple Chalice dungeons aren't going to be too difficult. And your rewards are not going to be fantastic. That's just how it is if you waited till this long to get here. Even the guy I was watching a bit ago on YouTube was saying the first 3 main chalices, or 4? 3 or 4 main chalices aren't going to, oh shoot, aren't going to be a problem if you waited until you finished the game and finished base game before you came here. It is going to get more difficult though. Stuff is going to require more hits to kill. It's also going to hit you harder. And you'll also have a smaller HP bar. So you gotta be aware of the fact that not all the chalices are gonna be this easy. Failed that dodge. Okay, I insta-killed him with the Holy Blade. It's fine by me. Again, if you want to just run through the chalices to get the boss reward, then just run around, avoid the enemies, and look for the lever. Then go Bold Hunter Mark or run all the way back. You don't have to kill everything, but there are some things you have to kill if you want access to other dungeons. The enemy cards I put on screen should tell you what enemies drop what, so that should help you. Okay, don't go in there. At least from the doorway, and I'm definitely gonna get confused if I go through that. Alright, I think this is a dead end. There's nothing down here. Huh, nothing's down here. Now usually I'd say who the heck is lighting these candles, but the Pthumerians are obviously lighting the candles. Although I'm not sure where they're getting the wax from. By the way, I've seen some really cool looking candles. Whoever designs those, hope they make good money. It looks so cool. Okay, treasure chest. Tomb mold. We've gotten some of that before, haven't we? Have we picked up Arcane Haze? We have killed a fluorescent flower before in Bergenworth, but let's look at it. And Papa got me coffee! Hold on, I gotta go get it. He just tossed it on my bed. Let me get the thing off of it. And you don't want to hear it crackling. Wow, that's nice. Dunkin' iced coffee. French vanilla, creamy, smooth. Yeah, I'll definitely say that wins over Starbucks. Sorry about that. I had to pop that thing open, man. Now, this makes me think of when I watched Assassin's Creed Unity, and they showed all those skulls in the catacomb, which I have heard there's catacombs in France, which doesn't surprise me particularly. You gotta do something with all dead bodies eventually. I mean, we've already talked about charnel houses before. Catacombs shouldn't be much of a surprise. Although, it's sort of... when you get a close-up of it like this, it doesn't really look that good. Yeah, we'll just pretend we didn't notice that. I'm not that picky about graphics anyway. There are some people who are so dang picky about that. It's like, dude, do you have fun with the game? That's the important part. Like, I found this dude on YouTube a while ago called Sharky Games, and he does a lot of cool farming games, cooking and baking games that look really fun. Like the Chef RPG, that looks cool. Appears to only be on PC at the moment, so I'd rather wait and hope they eventually go onto console, then I'll get it. Because I'd rather limit how much stuff I stream on the PC, since we all know by now that the PC is a potato and I can't use my model while I'm streaming. While I'm streaming a PC game. It does not work. Either the game lags, the model lags, or they both lag. It's a... one way or another, something's not gonna work. It's just how it is. Okay, am I sure there's nothing up here? I always do this, by the way. I check around the edges for any enemies or items, then I go along the inner part checking for enemies and items. So far, I don't see anything. This is just Midna being thorough, though, so don't mind me. But yeah, my previous topic, the Chef RPG game is not insane on the graphic scale, but it looks like a load of fun, which is exactly why I'm interested in it. Plus, I love cooking, the idea of it. I love idea baking. Unfortunately, I don't do much of either too much because I don't really know what I'm effing doing. So, like, any game I can play that lets me cook things or bake, I like that. And obviously, Chef Life Restaurant Simulator has become a favorite of mine. Now, if only there was a baking game like that. Don't get me wrong, I like my Baker Business 3 game. Did I miss you somehow? As I was saying, I like my Baker Business 3 game that I first played as a phone app. Obviously on my phone. Oh geez, you must have blended in, I didn't even see you. I suck. Yeah, I first played that game on my phone, and then when I found out it was on Steam, I bought that, and it's downloadable content. It's like, what, $5–10? I didn't mind spending that, especially since I liked the game. I shouldn't require assistance. Let's just go. Let's get some blood bullets, though. Now, that game, it's more of business management and setting up your baked goods in a particular way, because you can't stock everything you can make. You have limited shelves, even if you get all the upgrades. Oh. We'll get back to that in a second. This is what I hate about the effing Chalice dungeons. Another thing. They get these dang mother effing extra doors, which makes them last loads longer, and since it already looks the same as everything else, more boredom increases. But there's stuff behind it that we're gonna need, so I have to go through. Anyway, Baker Business 3 is a fun little idle game. You can decorate your shelves however you want with all your baked goods, but you don't actually properly make them. You can buy the ingredients and it lists what the ingredients are, but you don't actually mix anything or all that good jazz. Now, there's another one I think is called Bakery Shop Simulator. That's just, you tell your baker to make whatever you want him to make, and then you can stock stuff on the shelves and do that. Very much more basic. Still fun enough, I guess, but definitely not what I'd be looking for in a really good baking game. I'm sure there's some more that I could talk about, but that's just off the top of my head. Oh yeah, there's also Bakery Simulator itself. But that's... You mostly seem to make bread in that, the occasional donuts, and maybe muffins. I don't think you make anything else in it, and plus, that could use way better tutorials. That's probably my biggest complaint in it. It needs better tutorials. There's still a machine I don't know how to use in that stupid game. But that, you can at least put ingredients in a mixing bowl, you gather everything, you put it together. Like that's pretty okay for a baking sim. I like that for what's in it. but you basically just take orders and deliver your baked goods to other businesses. Which is fine, that's something bakeries do. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, I'd like more than that. What I would like out of a baking game is something like Chef Life, a restaurant simulator. But with obvious differences, and combining all of the games into one. Gimme. Well, I have to go back to the dream now. You've got some wide hips. Good word. And I just grave robbed. Nice. Real nice. Alright, let's go. Alright, so what would Midna want out of a proper baking simulator? Something akin to Chef Life, Restaurant Simulator, but as bits and pieces of those other games I mentioned. Like, I'd love it if you can gather all the ingredients. Obviously, you can order the ingredients. Obviously, you can order the ingredients, if you put them together in your mixing bowl, you mix it all up. Like, basically you just do all the processes for everything. You can take orders to bring stuff to someone else's business, like say it's a coffee shop or something. You can do an order of donuts or cakes, cookies, all that good jazz. Or you can pay employees to do it, or just a delivery service. And now I'm getting lost. Shut up. F. This way. Oh, I hate this Chalice dungeon! Back to my topic at hand with baking games. It'd be cool if you could also decorate the shelves with your baked goods however you want. You can sell baked goods directly to your customers from the counter. Maybe you could make drinks like juice, tea, coffee, etc. Maybe just a machine. You don't have to do all the complicated stuff with all the different types of machines, though that could be cool in its own way. Basically, I would just be looking for a proper baking simulator, which I have a really good baking simulator that goes above and beyond, which is something I have not found anywhere. I am super effing lost right now. This is not where I wanted to be. Like, if the people who did Chef Life, Restaurant Simulator could do something for a baking sim, I'd love that. I would buy that. Maybe even at full price if it was really good. Because usually I have to wait for something to go on sale because I don't really have $60 to be spending on games. And heck, what would really make my day is if there was a really good potion making game. I know that there is Potion Craft Alchemist Simulator, but that doesn't at all quite match up to what I'm looking for. Oh, you're dead. Bye. The Potion Craft Alchemist Simulator is pretty okay, but there's more ways to prepare ingredients than just grinding them up with a mortar and pestle. I probably just said that wrong, forgive me. I know they finally did that update a while ago where you can do the garden thing. They changed the skill tree and you can use more than just water to brew potions, but there's still the fact from what I can tell, you're mostly still just crunching stuff up. It'd also be kind of cool if you could gather some ingredients yourself. Like, let's go with a concept similar to Potion Permit. You can get monster materials yourself and... Okay, as I was saying, in Potion Permit, you can explore the world freely. You can get all the plants you need, you can chop down trees and smash rocks to get sap and ore that are useful in potions. Of course, you get the wood and the stone that's used for upgrading. You get the monster materials, I think I already said that. But that's nice to be able to do. Maybe to some people it'd be annoying, but that's when you have like a merchant that you have to unlock materials you can buy off of them so that you don't have to kill the monster or you don't have to go hunting down the plant. Which in Potion Permit it only does the latter. You cannot buy monster materials from them, which sucks by the way. I would have liked it if you could buy some monster materials because some of them are annoying to kill.